No.
Happy 2024. We made it. Call this meeting to order. Jefferson County Public Safety Center here, Jefferson County Board of Tourism, and I'd like to welcome with us tonight our new board member, Renee Stevens. Thank you for being a part of this wonderful group.
It's my pleasure.
Hi, Renee.
Hello.
I'd like to do Pledge of Allegiance. Anybody has hats, please remove them. Wendy, if you'd like to stand up, that'd be great as well.
Not that we can tell.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wendy and I spoke today, and we are going to table our minutes from December, and next month we're going to vote on the December and January. So we'll cross that off. Dave Bramer, you would talk to us about the treasurer's report, please, sir.
Okay, so there's a sheet with numbers on both sides. If you look at the top of one, it says 15 December 23. That is the ending of last year. And so it shows that overall in the innkeeper's tax, we took in $732,014.21. And so at the bottom of the page on the far right, how much we've carried over to pay for this year's budget, $613,265.93. And then on the other page is kind of the budget for this coming year. So you don't see any innkeeper's thank you since we haven't collected any, but that's how the breakdown is. Obviously last year we increased the amount we gave in community outreach, but the budget starting in 2024 is $350,000. Last year it was 500, almost 500,000 that we gave out. So anyway, we'll have some opportunities, but that's just kind of where we're at. And then I've got the expense for the first quarter for operations on VMI, and then their current marketing claim, which is last month. So the current claim for this first month is over December, I guess, but coming through is $5,375.15. So those are the two in the expenses for that. And I had submitted their operations claim before our last commissioner meeting, but it didn't get picked up, so I'm gonna run all these down after this meeting and drop them off in the auditor's office, so they'll get them, and we have a commissioner meeting on Thursday. So the checks will be ready by Friday.
Yes.
So any questions on the treasurer's report?
Anybody have any questions?
It's about the 12% we thought over the previous year, the innkeeper's tax for the.
Whatever we're doing well.
Yeah, people want to get out. Yeah, we're still in that mode. Want to get out. Yeah, it is fine.
I move that we accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll second.
Any questions? So moved. Thank you, Dave. Couple things on any board member updates. I kind of filled that in. Does anybody have any ideas of another board member?
You're still interested, right?
Yeah.
Because you're the
I'm
County.
the county.
council,
Oh, no, commissioners.
commissioners? Okay,
Mhm.
so we'll take care of it. We can do that on Thursday. And then Wendy is the county council's. He's still interested on this,
Mhm.
so. The other one is,
Is it city
City
council?
I think we're
Yeah.
missing a city council appointee.
Okay. And those discussions are being had?
Yes.
Okay. On that note, I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention about, our innkeeper's tax discussion that we've been working on for a couple of years here. I wrote some stuff down. So as you all know, JCBT had a committee that reviewed and discussed an increase of the innkeeper's tax. We started a couple of years ago, and that was, we brought Andrew in, and it was Ron, Jim, and myself, and we met many times at 7:30 a.m. and had a lot of great discussions and found out a lot of stuff. After those conversations, there is a bill in the Indiana Senate that would enable the Jefferson County Council to raise it. Now, understand that this bill will give the county council, our county council, the ability to raise the tax up to 3%. That's what we're asking. In order to formally express our support for this, we would like to have some, make a motion that we, accept the bill as presented on the floor or in committee, and allow the Jefferson County Council the ability to raise the local innkeeper's tax from 5% to 8%. And I know you have to abstain.
I have to abstain.
So we'd like to create the solidarity to be able to, talk to our senators and explain to them that, hey, we have letters of support, and our Board of Tourism, who will be administering that capital that's infused, we took a vote. So I'd like to make that motion. The Jefferson County Board of Tourism formally supports Senate Bill 238 that will allow the Jefferson County Council the ability to raise the local innkeeper's tax from 5% to 8%.
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? So moved. BMI update.
All right,
You're up.
okay, well, thank you. I'll keep mine short tonight, but like you were talking about, it was another good year for tourism in Madison, Jefferson County, and you see the fruits of that labor, not just what Visit Madison is doing in marketing, but what all the different organizations are doing in providing a tourism product, and what our hotels are providing for our visitors. And so it's exciting to see, it's gratifying to see those numbers. It's I made a prediction last year that maybe things would level off a little bit in 2023, and they didn't. Like Commissioner Bramer said, I was up again 12 to 14%. It's impressive. So I'm not gonna make any predictions about this year. I'm out of the prediction business, but we'll be watching it carefully, and certainly put all that we have into continuing that goes up, because there's still a lot of room for growth, especially on the Sunday to Thursday product, and in that December to March product as well. So there's still a lot of room for growth, and I'm excited to help get there. A few other things, just looking at the occupancy report, we were down a little bit in December from what we were in 2022. Actually, it would have been a lot more if it weren't for, this is me assuming I know what's going on from looking at the occupancy, but I think the Fairfield had a really good New Year's Eve event, and Clifton Inn had a really good New Year's Eve event. And that, I think, really saved our December from being a lot worse, as far as from what I'm looking at for the overall totals. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
Correct.
I think I think those New Year's Eve things helped, and I think that's a really, really neat thing to move forward with in the community, to have a product for New Year's. We had another strong year as far as for Placer, showing us, how many visitors we had. And I told the Visit Madison board, and Jim's getting to hear some of this over again. But, you know, we saw about 14,000 more unique visitors in Jefferson County, or in Madison and, Clifty Falls State Park, this last year. That number was a little higher for Jefferson County overall. That number, if you remember, in 2022 was 589,000, and what we had, for 23 was 603,200. So that's a really impressive number. Just so you know where we're going with this, I'm trying to make sure that the data that we're giving is just tourists, because that number includes 250,000 people who have homes within a 30-mile radius. And so we're getting a lot of locals. Yes, they're still visiting. They still don't live within the city of Madison, or some of them don't even live within Jefferson County. So they are visiting, but we want to know what that number is as far as pure visitor. They have homes more than 50 miles away. Usually that's the industry standard for what a visitor is. So I'm going to be adjusting what I'm going to report to you going forward, because I think we need to be sharing those numbers, saying we're pretty confident this is a visitor, rather than me saying each month, well, there's a caveat, because some of those people came from within 30 miles. So I'll be changing that up. I'll make sure that you know when we change that up, so it's not like, wait a second, we're seeing a really drastically lower number of visitors. It's just, I want to make sure we are telling the story about what's truly a visitor. But still, of that 600,000, 350,000 of those drove from more than 50 miles away. That's a strong number. So I wanted to give you that heads up, that's gonna be coming in 24. We're working on the visitor guide. I don't want to get into Sarah's report, but we've jumped into 24 and just run. So we got a lot of stuff on our plates. We're working with Madison Regatta. They're gonna be down at the Louisville Boat and RV Show this week, and so we're gonna be supporting them, taking some visitors guides down, taking some promotional material, and seeing how else we can support them in that. So our marketing team's put together some stuff, including a video that they're gonna have on loop there, showing off all that we have to offer. So really positive things. There's more of that to come, but I'll keep my report short. Yeah.
A couple questions.
Yeah.
Start back at the beginning. So talking about the occupancy, do you have the STAR data for December that shows the other?
The other counties?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we led the comparable counties, the ones that we compare ourselves to. We led them in occupancy, average daily rate, and revenue per available room. And it wasn't really even close in all those. I mean,
okay.
we are bucking trends. I don't know if they're national trends, if they're regional trends, but everybody else was either right where they were, a little bit lower in all those, and we were higher. You know, a lot of the other counties were at about 30% occupancy in December, and we were running at about 40. So that's strong. Again, I gotta say, every time, the caveats, that's only 4 of our properties reporting. But still, it gives us a snapshot of what's there. And so we're leading our comparables.
What are the counties again that are in that comp set? Sorry,
Uh,
I'm putting you on the spot here. I apologize.
Sarah's gonna remember that.
Floyd Clark, and they were combined.
Okay,
Bartholomew. Did I say?
Bartholomew, yep.
You?
Bartholomew.
Really. Scott. Jackson, I believe, and Oldham County, Kentucky.
Okay.
I think
So
Carroll, what was Carroll?
Well,
Where did we do this?
I'll look back at that and make sure,
There's
you know,
5.
there's 5 on there, and they're ones that are kind of in our area, but also we think might have a similar situation for us as far as being from a distance from a metropolitan area. So,
We have the chance to change that once a year, and we just when we re-signed up, we had that, we didn't make any changes, but if there's a county that you guys think that we should be considering for our next go round, please let us know, like, hey, we think that this is a county that would be more comparable, that we really want to track, so. The
And
only
we-
one I was gonna add, I talked with him
Yeah,
about
Brown
switching
County,
to
Brown, is Brown County in that?
It might be Brown.
I
It might be
we
Brown.
might have I gotta look back at
Okay.
it.
It might be Brown over Scott.
Because we switched up, because Scott doesn't have enough properties.
Right.
We added one and took one off last year.
Okay.
I think it was. But I'll look and let you know. Because they'd be a good comp for us.
Mhm.
So the data analysis that we pay for are, our STAR report, placer data and economic impact calculator.
Mhm.
Okay, and do you anticipate any others in the future? You know, there's always, new data or a new app or a new,
Yeah.
and maybe we can do away with one of them that maybe,
We have
10
a
years
list.
old, 15 years old.
Well,
We have a list, yeah.
Okay.
okay, so the other one is the Rockport Analytics, to which got news to tell you today is that IDDC, Visit Indiana, after they got their increase in their marketing budget, they're passing on the Rockport Analytics to every county gratis. So we no longer have to pay the $3,400 that we pay to get that information that we all, so, we depend on seeing how our county performs from a visitor spending standpoint and all of that. So, that's gonna be gratis.
You usually don't hear that this time,
No,
that-
you don't.
in this
You
day
don't.
and age, usually, well,
was
things
really-
gone up 30%.
I was waiting to see it, exactly, because everything else is increasing.
Yeah.
right? So the other thing is the state is looking into AirDNA, not, I don't know if it's AirDNA, but it's a version of AirDNA of short-term rentals, trying to capture that market and get that data that we've talked about off and on for the last few years. So they're looking into partnering with a company, I can't remember the name, Transparent, can't remember the name. But anyway, we also have a side conversation with AirDNA that they've been sales pitching us. And so we're trying to wait to see what the state's coming back with on what kind of partnership and if it's regional or if it's hyper local.
Mhm.
And then depending on that, then we're going to then, see with this other guy, because he's interested in knowing what we're
Yeah.
doing. And then,
We might have been approaching you all and saying, we think we need to know the Airbnb information, but I want to wait. I would rather not pay for it if the state's gonna give us something.
well, we must have been pushing that guy off on purpose,
Yeah,
for a
We
reason
kept
for a
putting it
while.
off. We
Because
we couldn't have the
the state
conversation, and the state came through and said, we're gonna have a version of something for you. Now, how granular we can get, I don't know. They said we should know more in February, so
Okay.
stay tuned. But that would be another bit of information that I'd like to know, because it ends up being a significant amount, sometimes 30%
Yeah.
of our innkeepers collections.
Mhm.
I'd like to have some more information on the Airbnb data.
For sure.
So there's probably a few other things I'm not thinking of right away that we'd like to get into, but that'd be the main one.
The interesting thing that I think it's gonna provide too is, how people are snowbirds or they leave or they come and, they live in a community
Mhm.
for like ours for so long and then they open their house up for so many months. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
Here is what the availability is at certain times of the year.
Yep.
And such.
absolutely.
And then the only other thing is that I think that, on some level, we want to continue, we want to keep Placer out there on the radar. On how the city's got that contract and we partner with them. And so I don't know what that looks like for this coming year, because that happens in July, but we'll let you know if anything comes up with that.
But since I've been on this board, one of the things that we've all discussed, and in order for us to make educated professional decisions on where we allocate our money, numbers are numbers, and, they scream, they tell us what direction we need to go, for majority of it. So I really enjoyed those three that we have right now. The placer data is vitally important.
Placer's been a
Yeah.
great tool for us
It's
that
fantastic.
we just never had before that.
No.
And so,
Well,
we were
the
guessing.
budgets the budgets we created and the money we gave to this group and this group is all good feel, high fives, and we know people. Now it's based off of data and real return on investment, which is awesome.
Now Star, anybody's gonna just keep taking your money for different things. They have other options for custom reports and different things that, when we just need to find out from Brandon what those are, but there's other things that you can purchase for data that you wanna get. It's just a matter of finding for it and seeking out the research.
We good on VMI update? You ready to move on?
That's it, yeah.
Let's move on to, Andrew, thank you. Sarah, thank you. Let's move on to VMI marketing update.
We're staying. Okay, I'm gonna jump around on you, but, been working very, very hard on the 24 experience guide. We have to sell that out there, as you guys know, and some of you guys already signed up for that. And so here we are at this juncture. It's always a very, very busy time on designing and layout and still follow up with people. We try to get them in early September, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles with all of that. So, our board was talking earlier about how can we make this better? How can we get that guide out on January 1st? Yes, that's what everybody wants, but it also, it takes everybody doing their part. And so, we're open to ideas and so that's an ongoing thing. Our goal, because of that, is always March 1st. So that's where we're at right now. And all those files are due on the 8th. We did increase by 5,000 and we expanded the guide. Both boards and our staff have been talking about how can we expand and have a map that includes the hilltop and more of the county. And so we'll now have a flip out in the back of our guide that has that expanded map at the top about all the restaurants and on the hilltop. And then there's expanded map on Jefferson County and some of those places on that. So we're excited about that. And with that, we needed to expand some pages on the inside. The guest houses they've just expanded big time. I hardly have any room for anybody else right now. But anywho, I'm getting into the weeds.
Did you and I talked about Hanover College
We
and
did.
and Hanover?
So I had Hanover College on that expanded map. I'm gonna work on getting Hanover Park in there so that that's on the map so people understand and see where that's at. But we have Big Oaks, we have the Eleutherian College, which is our National Historic Landmark out in the county. So that you can see from the map, here's the downtown. You go this way, there's that. If you go this way, there's that. And if you go this way, there's this. So it's all a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, we'll have it, we can always make it better in the future. If it's not up to everybody's standards. So we're working our best to make sure that, that people are included. So there's that. So we increased by 5,000, more travel shows, and then the comfort station that was obviously very popular, and we'll have a lot more guides there. So March 1st, that weekend, we have our Heartland Travel Show. We got Media Marketplace, which is where we go and we talk to influencers and travel writers across the state and the nation, something the state puts together. So Julia and I are going to be going to that. And that's where part of when I'll get to and talk about my budget, and we're adding more money to that line of influencers and travel writers. Girls Weekend's happening that weekend, so we hope to have it all here and ready to go right back out the door. So there's that. I'm gonna skip over marketing because we'll come back to that. But we are working with a new robust content calendar that Crop Riff provided for us for all their clients. So that's specifically for DMOs. And so it works well. We're already into that first month, but it's just so much easier to work with. There's so many content calendars out there, and finding one that works well for your industry, you know what I mean? So we're really excited about that and just being even more organized this year. Again, and having Julia is so nice to have that other person always looking at that and making sure that I'm doing what's on the calendar too. So nice to say that I have help. So thank you. We had our first full year of the different levels, gold, silver, and bronze and tin. And the gold partner reports we will be giving those out by the end of the month. The Gold Partners didn't know that we put together this marketing support reports for them, but that's something I wanted to do from day one. Wanted to be able to show that we delivered upon those items that they signed up for and paid extra for. And plus all the extra added value that we did for those particular partners. So that's done. Chautauqua report was finally done, and NICE report, those were sent to those committees. We'll be going to the ITA conference in Evansville, the second week in March. And that's hard to get distracted by, right? Don't be sorry. So cute. And so we entered four entries into those different categories, best visitor guide, best website. We are turning in all of our new merchandise that we created for our new for our gift shop, plus our new online gift shop that we launched on November 3rd. So, and then there's a best in Indiana activation, which is that new state branding that so we turned in our guide, because I think we were probably the only one in the state that was bold enough to put it on the front page. So hopefully that we'll get some points for that. So that happened, working with Lucy, and obviously it's been hard in the past month or so to get to anything, but working with her still, I'm the slow molasses on this project for the Madison Motor Trail, or the Motor Trail, however we end up calling it that, but, so doing what I can there. All of our KPIs are really just performing. Everything is up and up every year, over everything, year prior. We're starting to get used to the new GA4 stuff and understanding what an event is and how every little thing that somebody does on your website, whether they click on anything, they fill out a form, that is called an event. And that is what Google has pushed us into knowing. And so, we had over 2 million events in 2023 on our website. And I'm not so sure that didn't account when they started it on July 1st, when they rolled it over. So it's gonna be interesting to know once that's been a full year behind us. And so back when TikTok came out, I hurried up and I got our handle, but I didn't do anything with the platform. But I wanted to get our handle for Visit Madison. So Julia came on, and that was one of the challenges I threw her way was we need to be active on there, see what we can do, start and intertwining that into our plan. And I haven't been on there quite 3 months, and she's already got 1,000 followers. So I'm excited about that little success there. Our email continues to have 40 to 47% open rate. Our click rate's a little bit down this time, but kind of expected, this time of year, but. And part of a bunch of other stuff. But I will switch back to the 2024 marketing. I know that Andrew was able to talk to you guys on my behalf as well with me, but about the 24 marketing and how we would like to increase that proposal. Before COVID, we're up to 189, 456. We obviously, that was cut down 52%. We only spent like 99,000 of that. And then we've just kind of eased our way back. I feel like the trajectory of the industry and everything that's going back, we really haven't come to you and asked for anything. We've kind of let things kind of fall as they were. And we want to increase that, which includes the resource items that you're talking about. So the place or the star and the EIC and all that stuff.
Impact calculator.
Yeah, the EIC. So all that comes out of my marketing as well. As you know, that helps make marketing decisions and decisions for everybody. So, I'm asking for 225,000. I've already spent 180. So, placed it, reserved it. Of course, printing is going up. There's a lot of increases, from billboards to other media that we do. It's all increasing just like everything else in this world. And so, we feel like is a fair jump considering where we've been and where we want to go. And, that is what we're asking. I have it. I think each of you have been given the breakdown of what that all means, but we want to obviously go to more. We already have plans. We've already booked some more trade shows that causes more expenses for travel. And all of that. There's the influencers and the travel writers and those are being vetted, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are doing that now that, I mean, we actually had an interview candidate from the marketing of the job. We asked her what her goal in life was to be, and she's like, I want to be an influencer. Like, oh, you do? Like, that's just different to hear, right? You know, but making sure that we're vetting them and making sure they're not just coming here because they want a vacation, you know, so doing that due diligence but wanting to put some money behind that so that we can get that and see what we can, you know, what our ROI is on there. So there's that, there's the, we are doing some new opportunities with the state. We signed up for some NDTV spots that we're working with the state with. We're gonna do the mobile footer all year long, which I do work out with some of the events. I put that on their, they pay for some of those, so we don't pay for all of it. In their guide, doing the big, the lead generation program, back into the Indiana Bicycle Resource Guide. They kind of stopped doing that for a couple of years, I think because of COVID. And then, I want to tap into that streaming ad, the streaming ads. And that's just really difficult with the budget I have. I mean, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do it fully with the 225 with, you know, 11,000 of that being already slotted for resource items, if not more, you know, being able to, you know, produce I feel like we have the capability of doing it in-house and taking what we have and making it, but also buying the ads. That's where it's at, you know, so just trying to do that research and seeing where we are with that. So there's,
Let us know how much that costs.
I will,
Yeah,
I will.
that's like
Oh, yeah, I know.
that's like the new, that's like, you know, the next.
Like I've said this for years, you may remember this, I've always wanted a Gatlinburg people.
Yeah.
I want a Gatlinburg people with
Yeah.
Madison and we all watch streaming now, right? I mean, it's just what you do.
Yeah.
And so I want to be there too.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But anyway,
I
that's
appreciate you knowing what the next is, you know.
well, you're welcome.
And
I'm
I'm-
trying to stay on top of them trends. Been wanting to do OTT and CTV, that's what it's called
Mhm.
for couple years now, but
So
I really
you're,
want to push to get in that.
so you're asked, so in 2019, you said you're at 189 for your marketing budget?
2020 was 189,456.
Yeah, so-
What was approved,
I'm trying, I mean, I'm trying to wrap my mind around because 2020, 21, 22, 20, like, all that is nothingness and then trying to get back to
right?
not only normalcy, but pushing the envelope. Like
Yeah.
I like pushing the envelope. So you're at 189, you're asked for 225. And there's a lot of inflation that's happened over the last 4 years, obviously. You said you're wanting to go out on the road more and do more face-to-face
Yes.
trade show things.
Mhm.
And then you're looking to, in what you usually do, correct me if I'm wrong, you come back and ask for extra monies outside of marketing for economic impact calculator and STAR, correct?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, I always try to make sure that that's not
So
in my
that-
number.
But you're saying that's gonna be in it.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of thinking, we didn't really know where that was coming out of, and we all kind of thought, well, it's probably marketing. So, you know, if you want to take that and put it on top of my 25, I agree.
No, I understand.
So, I mean, right now, you've got 200,000 in just marketing, you have 15,000 in resource items, which if you listed as resource in the,
Uh-huh.
if that's a fee or something, that's been coming out of another line.
Oh,
item.
okay.
And then you've got another 5 for travel, which I don't think we've ever taken anything out of travel.
Yeah, I'd
So if
never
you-
seen any of that. Okay,
Well, I mean, when we set up the initial budget, it was there, so you go on someplace, submit it as travel, and we'll take it out of there. So,
Okay.
I mean, right now, you have $220,000 in the budget for all the things that you've been marketing, resource, and travel, so,
oh, okay,
I mean, I think we've got enough to cover what you've got now. If we need to add more, we can. I
Okay.
mean, last year, between the resource the professional services is what it's called, and the marketing, it was 175,000 or a little bit more.
sounds about right. Okay,
So Dave, do we need to vote on, I mean, we've
I don't
already
think we need-
established it.
Right, I mean, it's already there. If we need to add a little bit as we go along, that's not a big
Okay.
deal. We're pretty close to what they're asking for already, so I think
Okay.
we're good.
Okay,
And then that TV piece might be what comes back and makes it go over a little bit, but I'll make
But
sure
that's,
that.
that's fine. As we get closer, we'll know and we can do that. Like I said, I mean, we had 220 this past year and it ended up at 175 or a little bit more. So I think we're okay budget wise. Like I said, if we get towards the end of the year and we say, okay, well, we want to add a little bit more. We've done that before, so
okay,
Alright,
I think we're good to go.
thank you,
you're welcome,
I appreciate it.
thank you all.
And like I said, if you do take a trip, just submit it as travel and then we'll keep that identified there. And like I said, the resource items, I try to take them out of the professional services.
Okay,
So
I
that's
just see what line it came out of.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want.
And I think it should be there because.
Right, oh, I agree. So
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
when you do those things, make sure and get
I will keep,
covered that
I
one.
will keep doing what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
All right,
So if there's anything else that's been coming under marketing that should be the professional services, then just let's make sure we get those pulled out. So
all right,
I think we're good.
thank you, sir.
And can I take just a moment for a compliment for your group's work? For the last couple of weeks, I've been researching county by county, city by city, specifically looking for events. And there is far more content in the VMI webpage than in any other webpage that I've been able to find out there.
Right.
And just
You know, when I,
absolutely amazing difference in the content level of the web pages I've been bouncing through.
wonderful. I like hearing that and I like that you guys are seeing it. I mean, we, every week, we're like, they are coming to our site, they know to go to their, and see what's going on. And so, I have to make sure that, we're not just focusing on that, but other, filling in other things that we have going on. But you're absolutely right. We've been doing that since August 6th, 2020. We've been doing every week of everything that's going on. Plus, as soon as an event is over and we know it's an annual event, we immediately add it back. So almost everything has been added for 24 right after it happens. And so I appreciate that comment and we will just keep going with it.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Also, before we leave VMI completely, there was a mention at today's VMI board meeting that the VMI board would like, if it fits with what we're doing here, to once or twice a year to meet with this board. And I'm not looking for a motion, I'm just throwing it out there for you all to chew on, and we can talk about it at a later date, but I want to throw it out there while it's still fresh in my mind.
Anytime anybody can communicate with us to make their organization better or ours. Absolutely. Partnerships and projects. Chautauqua. Hey, and I want to personally apologize. I wish I would have been a little more sensitive to your needs and
No, you're fine.
about 45 minutes ago said, hey, you go first. So I'm sorry.
Does it go to strangers?
Being held by a commissioner, boy.
So this is a snapshot of our marketing category on our budget.
9.
So this shows the 25 that we received from your board in addition to what we then put with it. And anything and everything that was covered within our fiscal year for marketing.
Are you pleased with how everything turned out?
Absolutely. We had a fantastic year in regards to both artist numbers and patronage at the festival. We saw record numbers all around for both. So.
Wendy, you have any questions about Chautauqua?
if it, well, I don't have that in front of me. Is there anything that is, that sticks out there?
Are you on a boat?
No, I'm not on a boat.
Okay, I'm just curious. I think of Florida, I think you're out on a boat.
No, no boat.
Without going item by item, like, what are some improvements you're gonna make? Not saying that you have to or want to, but do you have any ideas of improvements in your mind?
So in regards to marketing, before we received the 25,000 from you, we've received it both this year and last year. During the COVID era, we really trimmed the fat, and this was one area we had to. So we have started going back to the radio, local, and then Sarah got us in with like the Audio Go and more, just a wider range, which we didn't even realize was out there for us. And that's really, I think, benefited us. We're even going a little bit further out in our radius as far as the Tri Indy, Cincy, Louisville. We didn't necessarily push as far up before than we are. And that's all things that we definitely will continue.
And are you handling the marketing?
No,
Okay,
so it's a combined effort. So when we received the money from you, we reach out to her, we say, this is how much would you be willing to give us a report on how to spend it? She then gives us a report of this is, I think, the best bang for your buck. We then approve it in a meeting, and then we kind of rely on her to do that for us.
great job.
There are some things that we just handle in-house just because they have accounts with them. So those sorts of things like our sunshine artists and that sort of, these applications, the things that we have to handle, we do, and then she does everything else marketing wise for us.
Great job.
So,
Thank you for that connection. That's something that we've all pushed towards. We're gonna continue to invest. We want everybody in Jefferson County, if you got a business or nonprofit or any type of organization, like, utilize them first. Let them say no.
Yeah.
You know? I don't have any other. I personally don't.
At the end of the day,
I have one question. Last year, I think there was a lot of issues with the, internet down there at Chautauqua. Did that seem better this year?
well, what kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a coincidence or what, but this past year was when the cell tower in Louisville went down with Verizon. So it was
Okay.
just a happenstance that if you were a Verizon user, you were not using your phone in our county.
Yeah.
And it fell on our weekend. So artists
Okay.
struggled to take payments if they were Verizon users. It
Yeah.
was, I think it was all week then. It was an issue. So.
Okay.
We did the best to like spread that,
Yeah.
because when we found out it was an actual like cell tower issue, we were able to help diffuse any like upset vendors and upset customers because they were like frustrated.
Yeah.
We did the best we could to spread it. I would just be walking down the street and I'd be like, the tower's down in Louisville, I'm not here, it's not us.
Yeah. And as, you know, kind of a product of that, our ATM that we have on site,
Yeah.
those ran out of cash, I don't know how many
Mhm.
times.
Oh my gosh.
That was just.
No, that's a good
horrible.
problem.
I mean, yeah,
That-
but
so at the end of the day, how are you all looking financially to next year?
so we had a bumper year last year. Our weekend straddled September and October, which happens every 4 to 5 years. And the years that does happen, we don't fall on the same weekend as the Carmel Arts Festival. We pick up more artists that time frame. So that's why you saw streets with artists on them that typically you've never seen artists on, because we had over 200 artists. So with this profit this year, that will go back into that rainy day fund that will protect us in case of another COVID or tornado or
Yeah.
whatever that may be. If we ever need it, we finally have recouped enough and recovered.
That's fantastic.
Good.
I think the baby's just gonna hang out with Dave.
Yeah.
So chill.
He's found the some. I don't know if he found it before or not.
Yes, seems like.
Always come through.
Well. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, you don't feel obligated to stay or anything,
I
right?
had 3 voices.
Yeah,
I did finally have a girl.
I'm not sure I can.
and thank you.
Oh, you can, but it's different, that's for sure. We had 8 boys in a row on my side of the family. My parents were going nuts. What do we do? I said, the brink aisle.
Not much.
So I am just, circling back from our 2 grants that you guys have given us this year. Trying to continue to be a good steward of your dollars and keep you informed of what's going on. So this is a brief recap of what we've done so far with the funds you've given us. We have 6,300 postcards that we got. We've gotten rid of probably close to 1,000 of them already.
Really?
And yeah.
Mailed them out, maybe. Got rid of them.
Well, yes, but
Recycled 1,000.
the biggest thing to thank you guys for, is the technological stuff that you gave us. So I came to you guys and asked for, credit card processing systems that were mobile and on the go. $4,000, those 2 credit card swipers brought in this year. And that's not just tours, but it's also donations, fundraising things, all of that. But that's $4,000, which is a big number
How
for
much is that?
us. 4,000. And they actually worked quite well. We learned a lot from that. Primarily that the staff is going to keep doing it just because it's tech, volunteers, money, and it makes more sense for us to just do it and then not have to worry about it. But that has been a huge thing for us, and being able to offer that to our visitors has really, really worked out. And we'll probably start telling more people, because I didn't usually tell anybody last year. If you came and I was there, the staff was there, then you could do it, but I wasn't advertising it all the time. The other things that we've bought, so we've kind of expanded what we're doing in terms of things for displays and whatnot. So we have a new laptop that's helping us create some of this content and some of these exhibits and things like that. But we also got some new sandwich boards from someone somewhat local over in LaGrange. So I went and picked those up one day, and we're gonna use those for all kinds of exhibits and for events. So we borrowed someone's for Chautauqua weekend. And they worked so great that I tracked down our nearest provider and drove to LaGrange and picked up 2 of our own. So we were thinking about that, and we were on the edge, and that's where that came from. We also have a super snazzy custom designed tablecloth now. And I am still working on more things to make our booth and our display more presentable when we go places. So that's where we're still spending. I am very picky, is what I have learned. So, the other grant that we got in August.
You pay attention to detail.
Yes,
You pay
well,
attention to detail.
yeah.
Something wrong.
The other grant was for our digital content creator. So you guys gave us that funding in the August round. And she has already done more than 20 posts for HMI, but let's be real, for me. It is huge. 20 posts is a lot of work I did not have to do. And she has done 2 updates to 2 of our websites. So 2 of our historic sites have new updated pages, courtesy of Maris, and she is still knocking it out of the park. So I put in there that we're averaging about a 7.5% growth rate on both Facebook and Instagram since Maris started. Because we're giving you more content and we're getting more interactions and more connections. And the perfect example of that is we have a new #1 post of all time as of this weekend. So if you saw our snow posts of Hanging Rock Hill, they are at 15,000 impressions. That beat the old number by 4,000. So we're definitely finding those connections, and those are translating into visitors. So on last Monday, we had great tours, and I actually got to chat with a family from Louisville who saw it on social media.
That's cool.
Yes. And so that's really been helping us out. And even our St. Michael's ornaments that we did this year, since St. Michael's was on the Nights Before Christmas tour, we shipped them to Florida. And we had people here in Madison come buy them and send them to friends in Poland.
Wow.
So those Facebook and social media connections are really starting to translate. And a lot of it's because Maris is putting in the time and writing those cool posts and digging through all that info to give us that. So that's where we're at. We're still working away. I'm still working on making some more very precise and pretty designs for you guys for our displays and things of that nature, but we can't say thank you enough. And we hope to continue to make this partnership a great thing. So
Jess,
that's all
thank you.
I wanted to say. Okay?
Great job.
So thank you guys.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other partnerships and projects?
I didn't know if you wanted, I'm not on the agenda. Is that okay?
Sure.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just quickly do a recap. Thanks, Jeff. I would normally have printed out photographs and pictures and everything, but I was uncertain if the meeting was tonight. So I was like, by chance, just came up, so I don't have like a full presentation,
You got a
but
partner in crime.
yeah,
Were you here last month?
pardon.
I said, were you here last
He
month?
was here last
I
month.
was there all ready to go.
Text me. I'm like,
You didn't
"Oh,
like meeting.
dang,
About it last Monday, and then I was.
I felt bad."
No. So, by chance, it's really great. Of course, I'm Kim Nyberg with the Madison Area Arts Alliance, and I'm gonna just give you just the top big takeaways this year. And like Jess, this year has been fantastic because we're partners now. The alliance is going well. We had a meeting last week, and I mean, we just leave that meeting and we're like, we're all together now. It's really something else. So I'm just gonna hit a couple of the recaps for 2023. So reinvestment in the product. Our product is arts and culture. Arts and culture. Oh my gosh, where do you start? So trackable reinvestment statistics certainly would be in the area of public arts this year. The public arts and the attraction from tourists wanting to see our public arts that we have in our community, wanting to know more, wanting to see what we have coming up. And that's kind of not trackable, but you can track the physical pieces of it. So we have the Mural Plaza, the Kindness Mural Plaza. The completion of that in 2023 was huge. That partnership with the city of Madison, I can't even believe it. What started with $175 painting of a heart turned into like a $600,000 or $700,000 public improvement project. And what has happened with the neighborhood reinvestment by property owners, the private investment in that neighborhood has just gone crazy. So, our numbers we know what we spent for the mural. We know what kind of money we raised. We know what y'all helped us do, but what it has done in spades, we will never be able to recapture the number and what has happened. We can get close, but I'm excited because this year we are going to QR code it. So if someone stays 7 minutes down at the mural, we'll be able to track them.
Wow.
So we're looking forward to that piece of the pie, and these guys will help us for sure with that. Obviously, our partnership with BMI in the city is perfect. Our events at the Spot, more than 15 special events this past year at the Spot on Mulberry Street, and those events are held on Fridays. We've had people from all over. The tourism folks, it's another piece that a visitor can come and experience our local art scene, but also experience our local characters. You know, it's pretty cool because we have like presentations from the artist. And so there's a salon there. So you're not just looking at stuff on the wall, you're hearing stories, which is kind of cool, kind of really cool. Celebrations, of course, the Kindness Mural Celebration. This year, we partnered with, Lucy arranged for us to help with the Chautauqua poster signing, which was a great thing. Of course, the alley activation, next to the tap room, having the refresh of that alley and using that alley as a place for people to gather. And we have exhibits in that alley. Bernie Casper's photography is in that alley right now. We're hoping to play on that and do more next year. But the poster signing was a great event in the alley. More projects this year. Of course, the Americana Music Triangle experience was a fabulous experience, and that was that out-of-town extension of Madison to Nashville. We're planning on doing that in 2024 again. We've been asked to do that for several years now, in addition to last year to go forward for several years. So that's certainly that. The Creative Hall of Fame project, that's where we had a Christmas showcase and partnered with organizations in the community to do a Creative Hall of Fame, where we honor people past and present that are in our creative, whether it's music or art or arts influencer. So that's a really cool project. So we've been able to do some really cool things this year, especially our involvement on the hilltop with the Sunrise Crossing. That was kind of fun, and it really is an attractor for tourists. They come and they look and they want to know more about Birdman, and they want to see flight and all of the stuff that's happening. So public arts are really what I have to, just say thank you for. It's been a great year. Ooh, it's been a big year. And I know 2024, we've got some things planned with the bridge, and some more public art, and again, partnering with the city. So
Kim, thank you so much.
that's just a quick update. And I know I could talk about M3, but I would rather let them come and talk about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I took public arts to the front page of our guide this year. And I meant to bring a physical copy,
Oh, yeah.
but this is what's going on.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, Sarah.
Can you guys see that?
That's fabulous.
With the,
Oh my gosh.
Cultural district logo at the bottom. and-
Yeah, they're gonna be so excited.
Yep.
My
Yep.
That's all.
Okay, y'all, I'm so yelling. Such good news. That's-
Victoria?
Yes.
If you would talk to us a little bit about our
application?
applications coming up.
Yes, so it was a late submission, so you got it this evening, but I did send over the Google form document for the application, so didn't change really much as far as the questions go. It's mostly just the format to make it a little easier for people to submit, a little easier for us to review as opposed to getting, 25 files from each applicant and sorting through all those. So take a minute to look at that, if you will, kind of beta test it for me, so that I can see how responses come through, just to make sure everything is working correctly. I will need to get yours sent out to you. I didn't get it to you, but I'll get that over to you. But if you could do that, and then as long as there aren't any issues with the form, we should be good to get it out.
You chuckle because we're going to Outlook.
Ah, darn it, Dave.
So one of
Yeah, it should
the,
have happened November, but anyway, I'll let you know when.
Okay. Well, let me know when that's
Security
happening.
reasons. Yeah, I will.
so we're listening to the applicants at our special meeting in March, and that's March 18th. So what's the latest that each applicant needs to submit to you, so you can log them on the times?
I think last time we did
Is
2
it-
weeks,
Yeah,
which I think that works. Well,
I thought we did like a week.
I think we did 2, but I'm fine with the week. I can get it done.
No, you tell us. Cause I've had a couple people ask and I said, at least a week.
I've
But I
been telling
wouldn't-
folks around March first.
That's probably better. Yeah.
The 4th is 2 weeks, if we want to just say that. March 4th.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you call it.
And that is one thing I will have to update on the form if I don't need to update it yet again, but we can get that figured out.
Okay.
Okay,
So
yep,
March
no, I'm good
4th?
with March 4th. That gives me time.
Then just for the audience, we're listening with your application on the 18th. And then we will have discussion and present on the 25th. So, and then we'll repeat that in August. Any audience?
Usually vote for officers first meeting.
What now?
Usually do officers first meeting of the year.
That's a
Well,
great
He
question.
is
Do we
right.
need to wait until,
That's a great question.
I like having coffee.
Yeah.
do we want
I
to
think
wait?
Dave took care of that last year and it completely forgot about it. So great question. What?
Do we want to wait till next month when technically Wendy and I are reappointed?
Yes.
That's why. Good save.
That's why.
Good save.
Good point.
I would move that we table the election of officers till next month to allow our missing members to be present.
Second.
Any
Well, you're not a
conversation?
member, so.
No, shoot.
Any discussion? All in favor? So,
Aye.
Okay.
okay,
I mean, we adjourn. We'll see what I think.
second. No second.
I'll second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.